Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. On this clip, we're going to continue and actually end our NBA season previews. We've done every single team except for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which this is what this clip is about. So let us know in the comments section down below what your thoughts and predictions are for the Cavs this season. Clint, before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about what they did last year, what they've done in the meantime. They were 64-18. Last year, lost in the playoffs to the Pacers. They re-signed Merrill, added Lonzo Ball, Thomas Bryant, and Larry Nance Jr., and they lost Ty Jerome and Okora in that Ball trade. So, Clint, for you, the strength of the Cavs going into this season.
So I think just from a team, if you just parse it out, like their strength is guard and center, like being able to have like both of these, like ideally, which has posed problems for them, which we can get into. But when you're starting the season and your guards are Garland and Mitchell, that's really good. And if your big positions are Mobley and Allen, that's a strength too. So for a regular season, that is quite the combo that at least gives you such a high floor that the Cavs have had the last 2 years. It poses problems, but it's still a strength of theirs going into the season.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I have guard slash center. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's great. And I think like what it helps is that they're very, it allows them to be a little bit more versatile because you can always have Mobley or Allen on. Both are good center rim protectors. And then you can always have Mitchell or Garland on the court, which allows you always to have that ball handler, playmaker that you need. So I think either, just a huge strength for this team. And I think you hit it on the head when you said, especially during the regular season, because I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, it poses problems, but when you roll this line out, I mean, Garland's out right now, but when you roll out their projected starting lineup every night, it's hard to be like, who are they going to lose to, especially in the East?
Yeah, correct. Let's go to their weakness. What's their biggest weakness?
I think their weakness is also their strength. Like having two guards that are undersized is a weakness come playoff time, and having two bigs, especially not so much Mobley, but Allen is limited. He doesn't space the floor at all. And when you get into a tough matchup, you got to have to pick and choose who sits. It's probably going to be Allen that sits out for some of those. And more likely than not, like, Darius Garland, he's your point guard, but he's easy to pick on. And it creates a problem that we've seen 2 or 3 years in a row now, where the guards either get picked on or the team spaces the floor enough and you're like, what do we do with Jared Allen? And their strengthness is also their weakness, which seems counterintuitive. But as you mentioned, when you get into these playoff settings, it's happened time and time again. And if one goes out, Donovan Mitchell is an awesome player, but he's not a point guard. Yeah. And we saw that last year with Garland struggling with the toe. Hopefully Lonzo Ball fixes that a little, but it's just their strength is also their weakness when it comes to the most important time.
Yeah, no, I had guard defense as their weakness. It was one of the things that I didn't like about them two pairing up. I'm like, Mitchell 6'2", 6'3", Garland 6 foot, 6'1", and no matter how hard you try, it's hard to play defense, especially when you're playing against taller athletic teams. It's just it. And when you play in the playoffs, it's more noticeable because you're playing against good competition every night that's looking to exploit every little thing about you. And then the same with the center. I think you bring up a good point. It's just like you're going to have one sit, and it's probably going to be Allen. The more Mobley can extend his range, I think it could help maybe keeping them both on the court. But until that happens, it's it's unfortunate, but it's almost like you can't play them both, and it's hard to get away with playing both your guards during playoff time. Like you said, Lonzo's going to help with that. I'd be more comfortable if Lonzo was actually like it was one of them with Lonzo, because Lonzo's a good defensive guard and Lonzo stays healthy. But it's also hard to be like, yeah, let's trade one of these two young, talented, awesome guards to and for what, right? So, like you said, the strength is also their weakness, and it's kind of funny because it's the difference between playoff basketball and regular season basketball.
Right. And maybe they're semi stuck with the second apron now. And again, the condition of the Eastern Conference, it's hard after last year. You probably tempted to blow it up, but then you see Tatum and Halliburton go down, and you're like, why blow it up when it might just be us and the Knicks?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. Big question for you going into the season for the Cavs.
So I think the Cavs are the high end of what is our we talked about it with the Hawks. What is our future with Trae Young? If you're the Cavs, what is our future with Garland or Jared Allen if it fails again? It'd be 3 or 4 years in a row where you put this team together. It's an expensive team. It's second apron, and we can't get out of the East. Something goes wrong, whether it's again a nagging injury, which has kind of gotten them, or you just run into the wrong matchup. So I think do we shift up this roster after this year if it doesn't work?
Yeah, I like that. I like that one, and I think that's very much a possibility, especially if they fail in the playoffs again, that they're going to have to do some shaking up. My big question was Mobley. Like, what is his ceiling? What is his like peak? So, you talked about something with some other teams about like the volume of shots, right? So the last couple of years, Mobley has extended his range. He's like 37% from three, but he's only taken like 2 to 4. So I think to make the playoffs, like to be more comfortable in the playoffs with playing him and Allen, he has to be more of a willing shooter outside the 3-point line. If he can do better at that, and then also just take another step, like he's a great defender. If he could take another step, like people are comparing him, Bill Simmons, to Kevin Garnett coming out of like he could be like if he can be that level, you might be able to like be okay with those two bigs on the floor and in the playoffs. So he obviously is still pretty young. So there's got to be another level, and I'm just like, what is that next level for Mobley, and will he be able to obtain it? And if he's able to, it might mask some of the concerns we have at like the defensive side of the ball for the guards because he'll be able to cover them a little better, or the offensive congestion that happens when you have him and Allen on the court together.
Yeah. Let me ask you, let's just say Mobley takes that leap and he can do some Giannis light stuff, playmaking in that. If you had to get rid of a guard, which of the two are you trading?
The guards. Oh, if I had to trade one, I'd probably like I'd probably go. That's a tough one because Garland's got injury issues, so I would probably go Garland, even though I would hate to do it. I like Mitchell as well, but Garland's at least like a ball mover, playmaker type of guy. Where Mitchell is kind of like that combo scoring guard that like shoot first kind of guy. Um, yeah, I guess I'd probably trade Garland.
Yeah, I was the same thing. The injuries would worry me. I would lean towards moving Mitchell because I
Yeah.
think he's not the point guard,
Yes.
right? And then
Yeah.
you're trying to. Whereas if you have faith Garland can stay healthy and Mobley can take a jump and do some of the playmaking, maybe you can get
That's true.
a bigger guard that plays defense out of that, or picks that you could turn into that. So I just thought, if Mobley takes that jump and he shows some more playmaking, maybe that can alleviate okay, we don't need to have two small guards. And
Yeah.
if any position you're going to have small, you're probably fine at point guard. Some of the
Right.
other ones is kind of you run into trouble.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you, like, if Lonzo's healthy, like, does that change the equation for you? Because like he could move the ball, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lonzo is a big upgrade on this team because I think he can even at times play the three with his size.
Yeah.
So he does give you, insurance with Garland out, but you don't want to overtax him because
right, he has
injuries. He is playing with that, that knee issue.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay. One last question this time for you. If this doesn't work, which one are you going to break up first? The bigs or the guards?
I would do the guards.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Success. What is a successful season for the Cavs this year for you, Clint?
I think similar to the Knicks, this is the other team that it's got to be the finals. I mean, one of these teams is going to be disappointed if they both play each other, but I think with the state, with what you've seen the last 2 years from the Cavs in the playoffs, if you can't do it now, when are you going to do it?
Yeah, so let me ask you, because I kind of have the same thing, but like, what if they go 7 Knicks competitive series? Are you then comfortable still going forward with this team next year?
That does make it tough, but I still think if you go 7 with the Knicks and lose,
Brunson hits a 3 to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, unless you see, I still think if you get to that point and you see like the jump from Mobley, I think that gives you leeway to make a change. It would be hard because you're right there, but I think you eventually have to reach a point that we got to do something slightly different because the Celtics coming back with Tatum, a healthy Brown, White, whatever else they get is probably your kryptonite for this team. So if you get a healthy Celtics team back and you're like, I don't know that this setup would beat a good Celtics team.
Yeah. I think I'm on the line a little too, but I think I'd go the opposite and I'd be like, okay, if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, there's a lot of players on this team that hasn't got there yet. So that like is a huge improvement. Like I don't think any of them have ever been to the the finals, right? Like Mitchell never got there as a Jazz, right? No. So like that's huge. It's a good learning and growing experience. And I might feel like, okay, we have something. Knicks have been like last year they were in the conference finals, right? So it's like, okay, so we lost to a team that's been there before. Maybe it's like just a culture shock a little bit. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they play a competitive series, I might be more willing to hold off one more year on doing something. So,
yeah, they're in a tough spot, especially with the second apron. So,
100%. Are they now? They're the first team, right, to like do the second apron?
They're like the first team that's kind of like semi stuck by it because if they trade Allen, it has to be like basically equal money, which kind of puts them in another conundrum. But
so they can't bring in less money. Unless if somebody
less money,
okay,
yeah, but it can't be more, and they can't combine people. They couldn't do Allen plus, unless they'd have to get out of the second apron to then be able to do a trade to combine salaries.
I hate the new CBA. I'll be honest. Okay. Anything else on? Oh wait, prediction. What's your prediction for the Cavs?
Playoff. That they're a contender.
Yeah, contender for me as well. Anything else on the Cavs?
Nope.
Yeah, interesting season coming up for this team for sure. Thanks everybody for listening. If you haven't yet, leave your thoughts, your predictions in the comments section down below. If you like what you hear, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go check out all the other teams we've done. This was our final team. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.